Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for me by singing the Peter Dislike jingle, gesturing, and leaving a dislike on this video. Let's do it again because I had a bad dream last night, and thank God it hasn't come to pass because a lot of my dreams come to pass. I mean, not overnight usually, but fortunately, it hasn't come to pass, and there are some things I can do to address it before it does come to pass. So sing along with me, gesture. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Let me start by talking about a nightmare that I had many years ago that did come to pass, and why this current nightmare scares the fuck out of me. I moved out of my family's home to go pursue my PhD when I was 21 years old. Now, a month before I moved out of my family's home, I was sleeping in the basement of my family's home. I dreamt that I was at school at Rochester Institute of Technology where I had pursued my PhD. I was at school and it was Friday night and I was all alone, right? School was out and I was wandering around downtown Rochester, not knowing what to do with myself, no friends, and just a mess. And unfortunately, a couple months later, I go to school, and that's the reality that plays out. Even to this day, I can't tell you how many times on a Friday night, even tonight maybe, I'll be wandering around downtown Phoenix, not knowing what to do with myself. I don't have a whole lot of connections here. I'm hoping to move out to a small town. I'm currently applying for a job in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I'll probably move to Wallace, Idaho, about a 45-minute drive away. If I get it, I have much more success with making connections. They're not necessarily close friends, but at least I didn't feel all alone like I did here in Phoenix or even in Rochester, New York. Now, as you guys know, to keep myself company, 2 years ago I began making art out of bismuth. I dreamt last night that bismuth prices had gone to $3,000 an ounce and so nobody was making art out of bismuth anymore. And I was all alone. I had all this money, obviously, but I was all alone. And I actually felt worse off. And the truth is, if silver goes to or if bismuth goes to $3,000 an ounce tonight, I'd probably be a lot poorer than I currently am in terms of my life. And I probably don't have the wherewithal to deal with sudden wealth like that. We all hear stories about what happens when people win the lottery. I probably end up like them. I don't have the social connections. I don't have all the life skills involved with that. I do want bismuth prices to go up eventually, but I want to get the connections and the skills in place first. And I don't have that at the moment. I woke up frantically checking bismuth prices, and fortunately, they didn't do that. In fact, they corrected a little bit more, so now I can buy a little bit more. But that's how scared to death I am about that concept. Right? People say that they pray that bismuth goes up. No, I want it to go up eventually, but I need some other things in place before it does. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. That's why I don't play the lottery. I don't even like to play. See, I love the game of backgammon, but people gamble so much money on that. Sometimes I go to an event and I've already won the beginners division. I won $200 one time, and I'm not allowed to play in the beginners division anymore. In the intermediate division, sometimes the prize money gets absurd. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. I could probably handle money like that. But any more than that, I'll probably start to self-destruct. If I win 6, 7 figures, my life would be a huge mess. I don't have the social bandwidth at the moment to deal with influxes like that. And it gets me nervous how much money people. If I win the intermediate division, I have to play at the advanced ones where the prize money can get to 6 figures. That's it. I'm not going to, because it's a lose-lose, right? I either lose my entry fee of whatever it is, right? 500, 1,000, 2,000. I either lose that or I completely destroy my life, right? There's no point in playing anymore, which is a shame because I love the game of backgammon. I really do. Unfortunately, all of my dreams have eventually come to pass. And so this is another scary one I got to add to my. All my dreams eventually come to pass. Not exactly, but they usually rhyme significantly. I have been dealing with a binge eating disorder many years ago. I dreamt that it caused me a lot of trouble. What had happened was I dreamt that I was at a conference in a city that I didn't recognize in my dream. And my ex girlfriend was there, and we were getting into the elevator to go to a certain room. She was with her new husband, and she told her husband, "Oh, don't get in the elevator with this guy. He has a disease." I woke up shaking. This was at the end of 2019. I woke up shaking, thinking that she must be referring to my eating disorder. And so the beginning of 2020, I made it a serious New Year's resolution to do something about it. Now, a couple weeks into the resolution, truly nobody was getting into the elevator with somebody else over a disease. And so all my dreams eventually come to pass in some way. In the dream, she had a husband. You know, 5 years later, well, she's kind of married to herself, and she didn't pick that up from me. She didn't. I never really told her about my relationship with myself. She kind of developed it on her own. So again, I predicted that in my own dream, and the dream about being all alone in Rochester, that came to pass as well. Uh, the dream about even the bismuth art career. I think I had that in a dream at one point. I dreamt, this was many, many, many years ago, long before I even started investing in even gold and silver. I had dreamt, because I used to love to watch Unsolved Mysteries. One of my favorite segments was this Filipino locksmith who had found a 1-ton Buddha while treasure hunting in the Philippines. And President Marcos had confiscated it, and the Buddha was never seen again, right? In my dream, I dreamt that I had found a Buddha made of this strange metal that had all sorts of colors to it. And so it was an unsolved mystery about what metal it was, how much it was worth. And this was many, many years ago. I think I was in 8th grade at the time. And I remember thinking, when I grow up, I want to find out this metal that has all sorts of rainbow colors to it. So even the bismuth art career, I dreamt about 20 years before I started it, if you can believe that. All right, pray for me. I know it's inevitable that one day bismuth's going to be worth a fortune. I just want to get my ducks in order before it goes there, obviously. So continue to pray for me by singing Peter Dislike, by gesturing, and by leaving a dislike on this video. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.